Hello and welcome to the Tinkercards video gallery. Today I'm going to go festive with you and we'll be making these very easy to make place cards for a festive table. You could either use them for Christmas, New Year's Eve parties or any other upcoming parties. It's just a quick idea. And then we're also going to make these very easy napkin rings, which it's just one layer and you can quite easily make these in an evening for even a bigger gathering. So the idea was not to go elaborate, just something a little bit special. And we'll be using the Eat, Drink, Be Merry set from Stamplarations, which has like a sort of food and drink themed stamps in them. We'll also be using part of this accordion label accordion die album thing from Elizabeth Designs, and I'm just going to use the inner bit from that and a nice Do Crafts punch and a bit of stamping. So let me just pop all of this out of the way. And before I pop everything out, I'm just going to give you a little brief preview of the Stamplarations stamps that are in the set. You've got a coffee cup in, a teapot, some cocktail glasses, some teacups, and a few sentiments. So we just be working with the plate and knife sort of for the table setting, but you also could use the cocktail glasses for your background here. So I'll pop these out of the way. And then let's get started. So what I've done here, if we just start with the place card. So I've got on just a piece of white card, I die cut the label, the inner bit, and I've also got myself a little frame, as you can see, which I've used. I'm just done that a part frame. I mean, I'm just going to pop that onto the sides here, and then the other one for the stamping. And then I've got another piece of card which I've sort of scored a little bit. Yeah, that's a bit better. You can see it a bit better. So I've got a score line there, but not fully. And I'll explain that later as we go along. And then I've got a few letters which I got here just to stick on. Right, so let's get started. I'm going to use sort of like a greeny turquoisey colour, just simply because I fancied something different, and I didn't want to do traditional colours because I might put them out again on New Year's Eve. So I just thought I'd go with something that is a bit more neutral, to just sort of like, so I can use them again basically. So what you do is actually first clean the stamp, because I've just realised I stamped some pigment ink with that, because there's something else I wanted to show you. There you go. I'll come to that in a minute. So I've just wiped the stamp off again a bit, because I don't quite know how dye ink would key on a stamp that has been previously inked with pigment ink. I've never tried it. I suppose I could have done that right now. So what I did for my place card is actually backtracking, and this is where I'm coming across as being desperately disorganized, which I am at times. Let's put it like that. So I'm just inking up my sentiment, which is the Eat, Drink, Be Merry, which I'm going to stamp at the bottom here. So try and get it as central as you can. There you go. So that's on. Let's pop that to one side. And now we start stamping the plates. So I just basically stamp that in the middle. And then one either side. So this is where my little frame bit comes in, just to mask this off a little bit. And let's get that in here. There we go. I'm just going to pop this round to the other side. Oops, let's pop that down. That's where it is a little bit fiddly, but I'm not so sure whether this would have worked cutting a post-it note like this. I could have tried, I suppose. So, and then we stamp this here on the other side, like this. So that's your background ready. I'm popping this to the side for one moment. So you've got your background here, and then you can quickly go and stick your name on. So I got the name Nick here. So get some glue and then we get started. What I tend to do is I sort of space them out first as to where they would go. So I get them sort of a bit in central, and I want to align them with almost like the bottom of where the cutlery is. So that's sort of my idea, to get that sort of roughly in place. So that will come across a little bit, so that will be pretty much in the center then. And next, what I did, I got myself a ruler, my trusted ruler, and I sort of aligned it a bit roughly with the bottom of my cutlery. So pop that in, and then that gives me another sort of helpful eye as to whereabouts I'm in when it comes to it being central. So I think I haven't done too badly here. Could probably go a little bit over there. No, that should be okay. So what I then need next is just my glue and stick it down. So I'm just flipping them off. And what I did is, because sometimes you move them about a little bit, I find it easiest if I start with the one furthest away either end, and then I sort of align the center bits as I go along. So this way I can, with the ruler there, I can butt them up against it, which is helpful. Give me the okay. Let's do that. So pop that on here. And then let's just see where these two sort of come in a bit, just to give me a bit of an idea. Yep, let's start with the C. So these are really, really quick makes. We're all very busy coming up to Christmas, so it's actually quite nice to be able to have something that you can do to add that little bit of something of special to your Christmas table or your New Year's Eve party without it taking up too much time. That was pretty much my aim on behind this. I mean, I've seen sort of quite elaborate sort of decorations out there with loads of other die cuts and stuff, and whilst they are nice, I always sort of I personally feel at times a little bit intimidated going that much overboard with it. Maybe it's just not really absolutely my style anyway. So, and I'm also not living in a big country house where I think those sort of things are more in place than in a little two-bed up and down terrace in the UK. So we got that here. So that's this done. Right, so as you can see, so that's my front done now for my card. And now to the back, to the bit that makes it stand up basically. So I've just cut a piece of card, and if you fold that over, and we will then sort of stick it down that it's sort of flush with the little tip down here, the longer end, and try and be as parallel to the top as we can. You don't have to fully, the advantage of not fully cutting it down is I didn't want it to be right behind the stitching, because I'm not quite sure whether you could see it through. You could see through because it's, I don't know whether you can see this on camera actually, because it's sort of slightly translucent when they're against the light, the stitches. And I thought it might be quite nice to keep that sort of see-through effect. So hence, it's just going to do it like this. And this is quite good because you can use your little, almost like your offcuts of card that you sometimes find a bit, or I personally find them sometimes a bit difficult to use for card projects. So if you do something like this, we can use the little bits or tiny boxes. I quite like doing these things, especially around this time of year. So make sure that you got it the right way up. So this is going to sit somewhere along here, and with using wet glue you can sort of slightly move things about a bit. So I need to see how well I'm aligned here. It's sort of pretty central. It could go a little bit down and to the side, I suppose. So that's probably pretty much it. Let's just see. Yep, and there you go. That's done, and that's your place card ready. I quite like it that it's sort of simple, and you got the, because I've got some silver charger plates which I'm going to use. So you got the silver picking up from the plates in the name, and then you just got the slightly minty green, turquoise, whatever you want to call this color. It's Pool Party by Stampin' Up. Ooh, there is a bit of a glare, which I'm not usually not getting quite as much if I've got some piece of white on my black, so I must remember that for next time. So anyway, this is the place card done, quick and easy. Now to the napkin rings. So what I've done with them is I've just get that in so you get a better thing. It's not glaring. I'm sorry, it is glaring a little bit like this. I'm not quite sure what and how to do this. Get the colours right. Let's just see, is this better? No. Oops. Sorry. I should have set the scene a little bit better. So you got this here, and it's just like a little paper ring which I've punched a border, and I've got a little snowflake and then I stamped across here, and you can use any border punch for it. And here I've just sort of white embossed the plate and the knife with some sparkly white embossing powder, and here I've just plainly stamped them. So I'm going to make another one of the plain stamped ones. This the embossed one is made in a very similar way. So this strip of paper is about 4 or card, because I'm using thin card for this. It's about 4.5 centimeters wide and just under 15 centimeters long. So all you do there is you punch your border, and I'm using this nice wavy dotty one, which could be seen as sort of snowflakes or dots. I've left one of the edges straight, and I mean this leaves both edges straight because it makes it easier to slip your napkin in and out. If you've got a straight edge, if you've got like a pattern like I've got on this here, a napkin can catch and it would bend it back a little bit. So you might not, it might look a bit disheveled actually. So this makes it look straighter and tidier. So let's go and just do a little bit here. Right, let's pop that to one side. And then all I did was I inked up the plates and I just stamped them along the bottom edge. And they pretty much fit in fully, like this. So I thought the plates and the knives were really nice for that, because it's foodie, it's eating. This one is meant for a sit-down meal, so that's quite nice in itself. And you could also sort of decorate some little menus in a similar way, just sort of have a little border of the plates alongside the bottom edge and whatever. I might actually get myself one done for Christmas. To be honest, I quite fancy that this year. Get a little menu with what we are going to have in it. So this goes, and it's overlapping quite nicely at the edge here with this pattern as well. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. And I'm just running this through my fingers to slightly soften it and help the paper bend round more easily. So yeah, I got this card, actually, dare I say, from a pound shop. It's not very thick, but I wanted it for a project where I couldn't, where I felt that it would be best working with thin card. And I do like stamping images, so if you tune in for the Stamplerations December challenge, if you have a look at their blog, that's the project I bought this particular card for, which this December challenge goes live on the 5th of December. So far, so good. Then all I need to do is add a little snowflake, punch a snowflake. Now this snowflake is a punch I've had for a while, and it's no longer available in the UK simply because it's Creative Memories punch. But I mean, if you live in the US, they might still do it. I really don't know. I just like it. I got it ages ago, and it's just a nice snowflake. It's a good size that is very versatile to use. And then all you've got left is pick up a little pearl, a matching one, and stick it in here. And there you go. So that's your napkin ring ready. So you can also do one a bit like this. So just to refresh your memory, this is what it looks like with a rolled napkin on it, in it more like. So that's my second napkin ring of today. So just slightly pop the snowflake a little bit higher, but you won't notice that when it's on the table. And then you got like 2 place cards here. And yeah, it will be quite easy and quick to just make those little add those little touches to any festive table. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I shall be back soon with more inspiration for you. and you can see this one on Thursday on the Stemplations blog and also on my blog, which is monicaskinner.wordpress.com. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall be back soon. Have a lovely day. Bye.